A broken heart. How do you repair that? Act 1. The crash. It's autumn. Daniel Carter, 34, an architect in Boston, is driving home late with his wife, Emily, 31, a literature professor. The rain is relentless. The wipers squeal like tired violins. They're arguing about nothing, about everything. His long nights at work, her dream of moving to the countryside, the silence that has grown between them. Emily turns to him mid-sentence. Headlights flare, tires scream, the world flips. When Daniel wakes in the hospital with a broken arm and bruised ribs, Emily lies unconscious beside him, her face pale under tubes and wires. He holds her hand, whispering, "Stay, please, stay." Act 2. The stranger in her eyes. Weeks later, Emily wakes. Her eyes open like dawn, but they don't see him the same way. "Where am I?" She whispers. "You're safe," Daniel says. "You're with me," but when he says, "I'm your husband," she flinches. The doctors explain. Retrograde amnesia. The last 10 years are gone. She remembers childhood, college, her first job. But not Daniel, not the love story they wrote together. Emily looks at him like he's a stranger wearing a ring. Act 3. Relating love. Daniel brings her home. Their apartment feels foreign to her. Framed wedding photos, inside jokes pinned on the fridge, the dog she doesn't recognize barking with joy. He tries everything, cooking her favorite pasta, playing their wedding song, reading the poems she once underlined. She nods politely, grateful, but her smile is distant. One night she asks, "Who was I? With you?" Daniel's throat tightens. "You were everything, my compass, my storm, my calm." She studies him, searching for a spark, but the fire doesn't come. Act 4. The other man. At the rehabilitation clinic, Emily meets Adrian, 33, a physical therapist. He makes her laugh, listens without expectations, and doesn't carry the weight of a shared past she can't recall. Daniel sees them together, her face glowing in a way it hasn't in months. Jealousy slices deep, but deeper still is fear. What if she never finds her way back to him? That night, he almost burns their dinner. Emily watches his frustration, then suddenly says softly, "You look like a man trying to build a house without blueprints." Daniel freezes. It's a phrase she used to say years ago whenever he overworked. A shard of memory or coincidence. Act 5. Fragments returning. Emily starts dreaming. Flashes of laughter in the rain, dancing barefoot in the kitchen, Daniel's hand sketching on blueprints, but the images are fractured, fragile. One evening she finds an old box, love letters Daniel wrote during their first year together. Her own handwriting on the margins, teasing notes, hearts, promises. She touches the ink like it might bite. Her heart stirs, but then Adrian confesses, "Emily, I think I've fallen for you." She trembles. Part of her wants to run toward the new, the easy. But another part aches for something she can't name. Act VI. The choice. Storm outside. Emily confronts Daniel. "Why do you keep fighting for me?" "Maybe I'll never love you again." Daniel's voice breaks. "Because I remember enough for both of us. Because even if you never come back to me, I'd rather be the man who tried than the man who walked away." Silence. Then Emily, almost whispering, "Say something only I would know." Daniel smiles sadly. "On our honeymoon in Venice, you dropped gelato on your dress. You cried like it was the end of the world until I took mine and dumped it on my shirt so you wouldn't feel alone." Her breath catches. A fragment sharpens. She sees it, his stupid grin, their laughter echoing over water. Tears stream down her face. Act 7. Love reborn. Memories don't flood back at once. They trickle, fragile and slow. But Emily decides memory isn't the only path. One night, she takes Daniel's hand. "I don't remember the woman who loved you," she says. "But maybe I can become her again, not because of who I was, but because of who I see in front of me now." They kiss hesitant, trembling, but real, not a copy of the past, a new beginning. Epilogue, Fragments Made Whole. Months later, Emily reads in bed, Daniel sketching beside her. A photo album lies open. Their wedding, their travels, their dog. She doesn't remember every moment, but she feels them. She closes the book, looks at Daniel. "You know what I realized?" she says. "What?" "Love isn't memory, it's choice, and I choose you." He kisses her forehead, whispering. Then we've already won. The camera fades on their intertwined hands, the gold of their rings catching the light. The end.